In the last video, we went over what you should do before installing braids or twists. In this video, we're going to go over what you should do during and after wearing braids. Once you sit in the stylist's chair, we're so accustomed to not paying any attention and letting the stylist take full control. While it is important to give them room to do their job, you should always pay attention when anyone, including yourself, is in your hair. So if you feel like something's wrong or you're confused about anything, speak up. First and foremost, pay attention to what's going on and what you're feeling. Your braids or twists should be done loosely, so if you feel any tension, make your stylist aware of that. During installation, make sure not to add too much hair on a little piece of your own hair. This excess weight can cause a lot of tension to your scalp, which can lead to permanent hair loss. So a rule of thumb is to use a medium-sized amount of hair for a medium to large section of your own hair. But if you want the bulky look of Marley or Havana braids, making them short or medium length will reduce a lot of the weight. I would describe my twists as medium length. A lot of us don't notice this, but many stylists trim little strands of your real hair that sticks out the sides of your braids, so your braids can look neater. These little pieces that are cut off are part of your length, so these strands do add up, and you can end up unknowingly getting an unintentional trim. Make sure to communicate early on that you specifically don't want this service. So now your braids are done. You have no discomfort or a headache because they were done loosely. Having braids installed can cut down a lot of styling time, but unfortunately for a lot of people, this is when you start to abandon the maintaining the health of your real hair. This is what I've termed the break from my hair mentality. At first, everything you do with your hair should follow a regimen until you fully understand and can respond correctly to your hair needs. So you should follow a regimen when your real hair is out, and you should follow a regimen when your hair is in braids or a wig. Side note, let me know below with any other comments whether you want me to upload a video on a wig regimen because it is slightly different. So for braids and twists, here is a regimen I recommend you start, which is based off the basic balance of hair needs for the majority of us. Wash your scalp at least twice a month or once a week for those with naturally high oil productions or product buildup. After washing your scalp, do something more nourishing than a simple conditioning, like a deep conditioning or herbal hot oil treatment. Your hair needs this the most at this time because the fabric from the added hair soaks up a lot of moisture from your real hair. Because of this, getting on a moisture ritual is very important while in braids. Make sure to spritz your hair underneath every morning before leaving the house with something very moisturizing. Alternate your hairstyles to avoid causing excessive tension to one section of your head. Also, always wrap your hair at night with a satin scarf and/or sleep on a satin pillowcase. Some of you could be thinking, wow, if I do all of this, my braids are going to end up looking really frizzy. My answer to that is yes, they are. But that's not a huge sacrifice for making sure your real hair underneath is healthy. Besides, after washing your hair, if you moisturize properly and wrap your hair at night, most of that frizz will just go away. Lastly, I strongly recommend not wearing your braids for longer than 2 months. Also, when you're taking down your braids, make sure you do it on a day that you have time to pamper and practice patience with your hair. If they're long, it's okay to cut them to save time, but to be on the safe side, try to cut 1.5 inches to 2 inches away from the tip of your real hair. By now, you've accumulated a lot of shedded hair strands that couldn't fall out due to the braids, so your real hair is going to appear a lot thicker than usual. Also, if you maintained and moisturized your real hair correctly while your braids were in, it should also appear and feel a lot softer than usual once you take out the braids. Once you've removed all your braids, make sure to detangle your hair in smaller sections than usual. As I mentioned, there are tons of shedded detached hair strands on your head, waiting for the opportunity to slide out. If you don't pay close attention while you're detangling, on the way out, many of these strands can create a lot of frictions to other strands, or loop around them and cause them to break. So it's important to create as much slip as possible when detangling, and also detangle in smaller sections than you normally would. Afterwards, cleanse, condition, and moisturize as usual, and wait a few days before installing new braids to avoid your scalp from getting irritated. This two-part series is packed with tons of information, so I suggest you watch it again before installing braids or twists. Braids or twists work great in retaining length and avoiding breakage, especially for those with breakage-prone hair like mine. Hopefully, the information in this two-part series can help you avoid common pitfalls some people get into when including braids in their hair regimen. If done properly, braids can really aid in taking your hair journey to the next level. As always, thanks for watching. See you next video.